Ellie, what's on your waist?
No.
Where are you going?
I have a Dexcom, a tab, and a pump.
Hello again. All right, so let's talk about injections. I was on injections from the time I was diagnosed at 7 until after I was married, and I started trying to get an insulin pump when I was in high school. I got to the point where I was taking a minimum of 3 to 4 shots a day, and even if we went out for lunch with friends, I remember like just skipping lunch because I did not want to deal with having to take another shot. I was having major burnout. And people get that, you know, when it comes to diabetes, you get burned out at times and you kind of don't know how to cope with it because it's this hard disease. And I think it hit me really, like, reality set in even more beyond what I had already experienced and known for so many years. And I got accustomed to it, and it just kind of gets old. With my daughter, when we were listening to the diabetes educators and they were talking to us about things, and they said, okay, you need insulin to stay alive, but if you give her too much, it'll kill her. And I thought, that's so true. And her ratios are so teeny compared to like what I take or what my husband takes. And so it's like learning a whole new, it's not like we already knew everything because there's so much involved with a small child and the way that things affect them because their body is so little. If she wants to have a dance party or play at the playground or run around and go up and down the stairs, her blood sugar could just plummet super quick. Jump on the trampoline, you know, we have to think about those things, how quickly it can affect her, and just be prepared to say, you know what, I need to put her pump in activity mode, and maybe I need to give her a little bit of food so that when she starts doing those things, it will level her out as opposed to making her drop. And then also, you know, so many things affect you when you're high. If it's hot outside, it can make your blood sugar rise. If you get stressed out, your body secretes a hormone that makes your blood sugar rise. And there's so many factors that affect everything all the time. And over here, we have to think about it times 3. So sometimes your brain just kind of hurts. But anyway, I was finally able to get my pump. It took like 5 years fighting with the insurance companies. I had a really good endocrinologist. He had to prove I was a brittle diabetic. We had to notate every blood sugar and check my blood like 6 to 8 times a day for years and years and just show like, hey, we need this. Because what it really came down to was the insurance was like, hey, we'll give you the syringes and the insulin. That's way cheaper than an insulin pump. We're not going to give you that. And I remember at the time feeling sad thinking, isn't my longevity important? And isn't it going to cost you less in the long run if I'm not having hospital stays and things like that because I have it so much better managed and fine-tuned? But it all comes down to money, and it kind of always has, which is just a hard thing to think about, but that's how it is. But getting my pump was amazing, and it really changed my life. And it's a hard adjustment. Anyone that has a child that is on MDI, multiple daily injections, and then they switch to a pump, it definitely takes some time to change. And sometimes it's hard because especially with diabetes, sometimes you don't want change. Like you're like, oh my gosh, this works. Like I don't want to change anything. You know what I mean? If it's not broke, don't fix it. But there's definitely times when improvements are needed. So, and I think about having diabetes as long as I have and all of the shots that I've had to take and all of the infusion sets that I've had to shoot into my body every 2 to 3 days. And then now like Dexcom too, doing that, it's just, I think if I took all those syringes, I could fill an entire football field with how many. Like it's kind of mind-boggling to look at numbers. I could look it up, but I think that's almost too depressing. But it's also amazing to have the insulin pump and be able to reduce the amount of time that you take shots and be able to take better care of yourself because of it. So yeah, that's it for now. Bye.